This is the TI-30Xa calculator, and we're going to be finding the mean, standard deviation, and variance for a set of numbers. So as I begin, I'm going to turn the calculator on, and you'll notice on the screen you see an M2, which is irrelevant, and degrees. It's important that the calculator is in statistics mode, but this should happen automatically as we enter the data. So I'm going to enter a series of numbers. Actually, first you want to make sure your list is cleared now that I say that. And if I hit the second function, which is in yellow, then I'll get the functions that are in yellow. And above the 7, you'll see CSR, which will clear our data list. So I'm going to push second, CSR, and that way when I begin, whoops, I got an error, but it makes sure my list is empty. So I'm going to store my numbers. So I enter my first number, which I happen to just choose to be 7. And when I see a 7 on the screen, by hitting what's sigma plus, it stores the number, and I see n equals 1 because I've stored one number in my list. And we'll just do a couple more numbers. I'm going to enter 10 as a value, sigma plus to store it, and that's the second number in my list. 2 more, let's do 15, store it. That was my third number. And for my last one, I'm going to do 18, store it, and I see the 4. So I know that fourth number has made it into the list. Now I'm interested in finding either the population or the sample average. And you'll notice above the button x squared is an x bar. Since that stands for sample mean, but it's also the same value as population mean, that's the mean I'm looking for. Because it's in yellow, I need to push second, the x squared to give me x bar, and I get 12.5. The sample mean and the population mean are both 12.5. Now my data is already stored. I can go on to find my sample standard deviation. Above the square root of x button, I see the Greek symbol sigma with the subscripts x n minus 1. N minus 1 lets me know it's a sample standard deviation. Again, since it's in yellow, I need to hit second before hitting that button. And as I scroll up, I see 4.93288, etc. The sample standard deviation for that for that data. Now, if I wanted the sample variance, I want that number squared. Since you'll notice there's no sigma squared button anywhere around, I can actually just hit the squared button now, and squaring that 4.9 number gives me 24.333, etc. My sample variance. To get the population standard deviation, again, my list is already stored, I just want to move over to the divide button. Again, since I want what's above the divide button, which is in yellow, I hit second, sigma xn for population standard deviation, and get a different value, which is 4.2700, etc. And for the population standard deviation, I just want to square that existing number, so instead of typing it in, I'll leave it on the screen, hit x squared, and I have the population variance of 18.25.